be sucked into Final Fantasy.
Just ready to be sucked in! Hey. Right, would you like the chat up?
Yes, please.
Ta-da! There you go.
Awesome.
Right, and that'll let you know when we go live. Right, we'll see you all in a minute. Or kettle. What, a regular size cup or the yellow and white one?
Yellow and white one with extra sugar, please. So, I haven't had the thing. Yeah, there we go. It's come up on my phone. So, hi, I'm Inky the Obvious. I am standing in playing Final Fantasy 7 Redo for ye olde Scazius. And we'll get going in a second. Oh my god, I'm live, says Beardo. So yeah, I'm live. I'm not sure. Right. Oh my god. I'm on chapter 10! Dive now! Clouds with boobs! I'm the cloud with boobs. I'm on chapter 10! I'm on chapter fucking 10! I've only got 2 more chapters left.
Tifa?
Oh, Cloud. We have to get back to the slums right now.
Yeah.
I didn't want to drag Aerith into all this.
She'll understand.
How do you two know each other?
I saved her. She saved me. Round and round it goes.
And that's all there is to it. Sure there isn't something else going on? Damn it.
Right. Not good.
Here we go.
You bet! Bring it on! Go on! There! Come on!
No escape.
Oh, I fucking pressed the block as well, you bastard.
Let's turn it up. Stay strong, okay?
Oh no. Okay.
You're up.
Stay strong, okay? Come on!
Any right words?
I've got you covered.
Oh my god.
Not looking good.
I'll take care of you. One more shot. Go on. Stay back. Just hang on. Here goes. I'm here. Can you take over for me? Don't give up. This one's for you. Bring it. Get him. One more shot. Just go away.
Allow me.
I've got you covered.
Oh, didn't really. Hi guys, sorry. I got sucked in. Got sucked in. What's the chat saying?
I don't know, I didn't catch it.
There it goes.
Do you think it
Oh
lives
shit.
down
Sorry
there?
chat. Hi chat. Oh
It's
fuck.
probably Corneo's pet.
I'm not a very good host. I know I take over.
We were dinner.
Talk about nonsense. Ah, okay.
Nonsense is good.
I was enjoying concentrating
don't
on
believe
ye
that
olde
crazy story
smashing
of
that guy
his,
in the
do you?
thing.
Shinra wouldn't sacrifice a whole sector just to take out Avalanche, would they?
Yes, they fucking
Destroying
would.
part of the city, killing all those people just to get at us?
I don't know. Is Corneo the kind of guy who'd make up shit just to screw with you?
I wouldn't put it past him.
Could you get more
But
chocolate out
if
of
he
the
was
fridge?
telling the truth,
Yeah, egg.
and there's still a chance he was, isn't there?
Please.
Then we should go. And if it turns out he was lying, then so what? Right?
I was fighting us to go disconnect in bad places.
Tifa!
Someone heal me, please.
These tunnels are all connected.
What is it?
I'm pretty sure we can use these tunnels to make our way back to Sector 7. The sewers under Sector 6 and 7 should be connected. If you get in trouble, just follow the stench.
Another one of those lessons?
An avalanche thing, actually. We use them to move around the Undercity, in emergencies.
Oh, artifact and
Sure we're not
the
lost?
stream's playing now.
Positive. There should be a big waterway just up ahead. Let's find out.
What does that mean?
We had a bit of rainbowing in my stream to start with, Dark, the other day, but it seemed to clear up. But for some reason today, it's just not doing it.
This won't take long.
Oh,
And I tell you what, okay,
ta-da, I can pause my phone.
okay, cool. Just give me 1 second, guys. I'm just going to change the settings. Then let me
Blame
know if it's
Beauty.
still smooth.
I should be back. Am I back? We're up way!
Yeah, because the problem was, if you look there on my screen, so the rainbow at the bottom.
Oh, smashing.
Yeah, that was the problem that I had the other day. But it went away after a while. Okay, you supposed to go again.
Let's do this.
Oh, the frog is so cute! Oh, that's so fucking cute! That's so fucking cute! Leapfrog!
Worked up a good sweat.
I look like I turned into a frog! That's so fucking cool! Do it again!
No, it's still out, thank you.
It reeks down here. Well, the Undercity isn't exactly the prettiest place.
Right, I'm now going to try one more thing. Let me know if it fixes the problem.
Why isn't there turds lurking around? Mo.
I don't mind so much about pixelation, but that rainbow and you know what I think it was? Bandwidth. Oh, it's not so much it's not that, Dulane. It's just we've had some really bad problems hardware-wise recently, and we've been trying to troubleshoot it. And yesterday was the first stream I had that was actually smooth, like running somewhat optimally in ages. Like the other day, I was doing a stream. It was a Billy Bob Basic stream, and it was practically running at 2 frames a second. So we're just basically trying to make sure that everything's working as it should. So if we're asking about frame rates and that, then has the rainbowing gone away? Is the frame rate at least reasonable at the moment?
Couldn't touch the chair.
I think I figured it out. So I think the rainbowing was being caused by bandwidth, where a bandwidth starts. So that preset I changed, or that setting I changed, I can put back.
Alright.
So if the frame rate's a bit flaky, I can put it back and not have to worry too much about it. So Fallout 4 is still giving you shit then, Dark? Also, have you had another battle since?
Not yet, no.
Okay, cool. His theory is that it's acting up when the
Battles come.
Yeah, battle command really done. But yeah, I don't mind a bit of macro blocking through, you know, just general whatever, but the rainbowing out, I think, is probably most likely bandwidth. We're a bandwidth staff. I actually checked the network, and the laptop was getting the least bandwidth in the house. except that was the one trying to do the most work. We're not the only one having issues with our streams. Next, the trick is, Dulaine, we've been trying to get, I busted out one of my old broken laptops. I say broken. Do you remember that gaming laptop I got when I was playing Shroud a couple of years ago? The machine failed on me, like, I mean, completely went tits up in 2019, and I've only just got back to fixing it. But we bust out a lot of our. I got sick and tired of it being kind of put on the sidelines, and we bust it back out. I did a repair on it because I finally managed to get hold of parts for it. But we hooked up some of my old gear, but it's actually quite high-end gear for when I bought it, and it's quite stressful to a machine. And we realised that when I was streaming, I mean, when you were streaming, it was fine, weren't it? But when I hooked everything up, we went from having, one day we had a smooth stream, to all of a sudden it was running like a slideshow, and I couldn't figure out why. I was like, oh, it must just be that the machine isn't quite powerful enough, but hang on a minute, it was working fine the other day. And then I looked at all the performance metrics on the laptop itself, and it turns out that even though we were running like a slideshow at 720p, the processor was barely being used, RAM was barely being used, graphics card was barely being used. I mean, when Inky last streamed with it, the fan was broken, so it was overheating too. So I was getting really raggy about why it wasn't working. And then yesterday, just through sheer luck, I fiddled around with some settings. I actually gave it an even harder job. I went from 720p, 720/30. I said, no, fuck this. If the processor isn't being used and the graphics card's barely being touched, we're going to ramp up to 1080p, 60 frames a second, as hard as we can go. Let's see what happens. And again, it was barely touching the computer, but all of a sudden, after changing a few settings, it went smooth. Everything went smooth. It was like, you know, the frame rate leveled out and everything. And so now it's just a case of figuring out where we can find. Yeah, exactly. It was a case of like, what the fuck? You give it more work, and all of a sudden it's smoother. And so I was talking to Zabra about it today, and he's got a theory. I have a theory, and now it's just a case of fine-tuning it. You know, I don't want to fiddle with it too much if we've got it working now, but I need to just make sure that the machine isn't overheating, that the fan's not. So my theory, well, so that's a tough one. Me and Zabra have got roughly the same idea, but we're thinking it's. I used to have a 1080p source and then scale it down to 720p so that we'd do less work. And we think that at some point some of the frame rate issues were coming from the scaling that we were using, and also potentially the graphics card encoding preset that we were using, because I was using 2-pass max quality, and whilst that wasn't stressing out the graphics card, it may have been kind of fucking with other things. Bless your rain. I hope you get to a rain, because this is kind of fun. Yeah, exactly. There was something not quite right, but it wasn't obvious. In all of the places you could look where red flags would be thrown up, everything was fine, but something just wasn't working. But there were no errors. And so I was just kind of pulling my fucking hair out, trying to figure out, like, well, what the hell's going on? I was like, because Do you remember a few years ago when I first got this machine running? I was doing those streams, and they were really laggy. Like some of the games were running really, really badly. And we just thought, oh, it was just the game being jank. And then I played it on Linux, on my Linux machine, and they worked perfectly fine. Well, it turns out
Compared to us, at least.
that was before the it turns out the laptop was broken from the day we bought it.
Was never in doubt.
Because now that I've actually taken the whole laptop apart, changed pieces and repaired it, it works flawlessly. So it's now just a case
Don't hold back.
Big crabs!
That's that.
Oh, I've actually got crabs!
No holding back.
The reason why I'm so quiet, Elaine, is because I'm behind the microphone.
I'm ending this.
Let me
Moving
I
on.
like to be beside the seaside. Which way were we walking to? I can't see through there.
Can't you? Right, that should be better. But yeah, we just we ended up gutting the laptop, and all of a sudden, it started working perfectly. All the games that were erroring out or having frame rate issues last year, or not last year, but the year before, all of a sudden they're like, yeah, we're working fine now, not a problem. So now I'm literally just fine-tuning everything, because I refuse to let this laptop sit and rot. I mean, fucking hell, it was a grand's worth of laptop, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it only got used for 4 months. And then we used it a little bit when Zaba came down last year, and then it sat until we could, yeah, season 1, until we could afford to basically we had to find the part and get it ordered in from China.
No.
Well, yeah, I mean, here's the trick, Dulane. The fan literally failed, completely failed the other night on the stream. It was janky when we first bought the laptop. It started going really bad in 2019, and then I left the laptop for a year. Then Inky used it the other night to stream Final Fantasy, and midway through the stream I was like, oh shit, the fan has literally just gone click, dead. And yeah, so I ended up, we got the part 3 finally from China.
Yeah. I can't imagine any
we ended
way
up
to
buying
profit
3
from it.
sets because 2 of them were wrong,
It's gonna
even
cost
though they
them a
were
fortune to
advertised
build.
for my model of machine. But I managed to find
Guys like
one
him do all
guy
the time,
on the
my
entire internet with the correct part, and then I took the whole thing to pieces, cleaned it out, and then yeah, changed the thermal paste, changed the fans, made sure that everything was balanced, reassembled it, and bickety bam, job done. Now it is just literally tweaking things to get it working. Oh mate, it's night and day. It's night and day now. The machine has never ever run this well before. Even when we first got it out of the box, it has never run this well before. It's also a bit sad though, because we've got that PC coming within the next 2 weeks.
That's a power generator, all right.
Wow, talk about ancient.
It's an antique. Older than the
Is it a
Mako
specific
reactors
weapon, Dark, or is it
even.
just
Be a
any
miracle if
weapon?
it still works.
Oh, Dulane is great. The fact that I'm actually now able to sit down and use it for work as well is fan-fucking-tastic. Rain Man, come on, you've got to get on this.
locked up tight.
But not if we use the skeleton key Jesse made.
Huh. Does this mean it's in the water?
We'll see. Try to stay behind me.
Why would you
That
climb
way I
the
can cover your back.
Wow, my version of the stream is so far behind. You haven't even opened the door yet.
Bring it on.
Oh, you're about on your screen.
Let's finish this.
I'm glad you're feeling a bit better about it, Elaine, to be fair, man. I figured out what you're going to do next. We're just going to chill out.
Let's go.
I will say, I'm glad you're still able to get work through your injury stuff, dude. Because, I mean, round here it's fucking dead. The number of people who are just losing their jobs, or even though they're told that, oh yeah, mate, you'll be on furlough, and then they're not getting paid, is mental. I like frozen bread on course now.
No plenty fresh bread and strawberries.
Well, we ain't got any of that. Ah, and wine, you're asking a bit much. You'll be lucky to get a bottle of Coke.
Fucking posh twat. We don't drink wine. We drink rum.
The closest thing
Is
to
it?
wine is iron brewed from a hooker's asshole.
No, we've got rum. Yeah, we've got 5 bottles of the fucking stuff. We'd be shit pirates if we didn't have rum.
Oh, by the way, do we have a Coke?
No. I'd like a cup of tea.
Not one!
1 second.
Right, hang on, dog, what about me?
You can sit next to me.
Can I? Is that an invite?
Yep.
I have to do tea first, right?
You have to bring tea first, yeah?
You don't drink that one yet?
I'm halfway through it. Oh.
Make me a fresh one if you're only halfway through it.
Yeah, it's not drinking a regulation standards.
Would you complain about my tea? I'm heartbroken, devastated.
Oh, fucking good.
There's gonna be a divorce soon if I can't bang out a decent
It worked.
tea. Oh my god! I've never had my tea board in question. I don't care about anything
I
else.
am still drinking that tea!
Okay.
Fuck's sake, fucking tea fee.
Call everything else about me into question. I don't care. You know.
450p. You can start over like a fresh cup of tea. Dark, don't get involved in our relationship problems. There you go, cup's empty. Tea's drank.
Why? This is our cheat day.
Is it? I thought every day was a cup of tea day.
Well, yeah, we also come back on seriously now.
Wait a minute.
What
I
sugar?
know this
Too
place.
sweet, love.
Sector 7 should be just on the other side of this waterway.
So this is where Sector 6 ends.
And where Sector 7 begins. Once we cross over, we can start looking for a way back to the surface.
Might be harder than you think.
Let's just try to make our way down this tunnel. See if we can't use those gates to clear a path. We can do this. We'll figure it out.
Dark wants a cup of tea
Yeah,
too, love.
For sure.
Yeah. How you take it?
And if he says in a cup, I'm not going to be happy.
He'll take it in a receptacle. To be fair, I've had to suffer unsweetened tea and coffee the last few days. Oh, and unsweetened oats. God, Skaz, you beat the cup of any louder. Laugh out loud. We can hear it in Brummy Land, man. Yeah, and it's a room away.
I'm miles away, I'm abusive.
Guess I got him. Stay back.
So 4 sugars then. That's not bad.
No surprises there.
I get a feeling I'm a little bit OP.
You hate dealing with people, do you, Ray? I'd have never have guessed.
Really, Ryan?
hang on,
Why are you
Ray.
talking to us then?
What people are doing you nutting is you're supposed to be in quarantine. Other people will have to respond to it. But we all know that they're fantastic.
Not as fantastic as the strip joint they're gonna make.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. It's gonna be great. Look, there's no shit down there either.
Try to stay behind me.
That way I can hear that.
I found all the crabs.
Close your...
Bring it on. That was close.
In with the show.
Oh, let's go. Go on.
What about your wife? She is.
I'm gonna pass that to get fisted.
Give him your all. Don't give up.
That's not bad.
Stay back. It's over. This one's for you.
Brilliant, isn't it? She's like, she takes no shit.
Kill for a shower.
And then Aerith's just like,
She gets in there, she proper fists the bad guy, and then she heals after it.
Yeah.
Great.
I won't.
Now, see, I agree with you there. People suck ass.
depends what's in the ass. Then yeah, maybe.
Watch yourself. I'm coming.
I'm actually curious if, how much...
So it's my turn? I got this. Okay.
lockdowns will end on board of it. Just saying, lockdowns will end on board of it.
Really?
Well, what I'd like is if the people who stayed in lockdown for the first however long, them to be able to go out, and all the people who didn't follow the instructions to have to stay in for another 6 months. That would be fucking fantastic.
Bet the police would love that.
Something around here, we've not really had anything, have we? There's nothing really going on here.
That's because we're fucking living amongst the hillbillies, aren't we?
Out in the boonies, there's nothing.
Wicked. The boonies is massive.
Isn't it, mate? 30 miles
I
up
have seen more boy races
Let's end this quick.
in lockdown than I have done for a while.
Oh, it was great. I actually saw that. You know,
My full body kit on the car, I saw
you
one.
know Hotel Road?
Yeah,
It's not too far away from here, right?
right.
These little kids on dirt bikes,
Yeah.
full speed down Del Road, and the police car was so
Really?
fantastic.
Oh wow. Oh, I wish I could have seen that.
Oh, it's great.
It's gone back to the old Witten days.
Fucking criminals. Quick question, how's the frame rate going? Because I thought I saw some drops just then.
It's gone,
Mid-combat.
gone to the shameless days.
All right, now we should be able to get across.
Really? I won't fucking trust that. It's not straight.
I'll go first, okay?
Of course you will. Yeah, of course you will. Look how you're fucking mincing just because you wore a dress earlier.
Ah, rockin'. So I think maybe
Damn it.
if any frame
I
rate
can't
drops
stop
I'm
thinking
seeing
about
right
what
now are
Cornelia
just because I'm
said.
on my phone and that's on
I know.
mobile data.
Me too.
It's gotta be a trick. There's no way they'd go that far.
Oh, stop bitching! Get moving!
What if Corneo really was telling the truth? We have to get there in time to stop it.
Well,
We
if you
have
stop
to.
fucking lollygagging.
Aerith, what are you not telling me?
Huh?
Guys, come on. We gotta keep moving.
Coming!
Do you know something?
I'll go
like
first.
She's likely already seen it.
that? Because there's a big lot of life going back to the earth, isn't it?
Okay, Aerith, your turn.
On my way. Here we go.
Like her shoes. It's just sewage, just swim in it.
Why's she gonna tarnish?
Almost there. That was close.
Thanks. You saved me.
Least I could do.
Hear that, Cloud?
Excellent.
Come on.
Inky, I think we've fixed the stream. Isn't it great?
Isn't it wonderful?
She's like, I don't give a fuck.
I'm playing my game.
Play my game. You. Oh, God. Can't wait to play tonight. It's going to be great. I get to lay down. Oh, medication. Ah.
Focus.
Still thinking about the plate?
Yeah.
The future isn't set in stone. That's what I always tell myself.
Yeah? I hope you're right.
How about this then? Think of something fun. After saving Sector 7, you're gonna...
I'm gonna... go shopping. Topside. I'll buy stuff for the bar. Decorations. Coasters.
Can I come?
You'd better.
Then it's a date.
Gay.
Cloud can carry all our stuff.
He'll be our pack chocobo.
What was that about me?
Nothing.
He does look like a chocobo. She is right. That's gonna break.
Huh? No way!
Come on, Tifa! Cloud! Hold on tight!
On three, okay? 1, 2, 3!
Sorry about that.
No need to be.
I will throw out there that was a bit cheeky that you just grabbed hold of Aerith's pole.
Hey, it's not my fault she put it in my hand.
She proper whipped it out fire.
Yeah.
That's the first thing he knows to grab hold of.
Hey, it's a two-way thing. Run, bitches, run. I'm chasing you both.
Just take the wet floor sign and put it outside. Oh, fuck's sake.
That kid's going to be getting a visit from me.
Moogle medals. See, I've got a couple of those already. Somehow. Energy drink. Potion. That's all potions are, it's just fucking Red Bull. Oh, mithril armlets already?
Yeah.
No, we need to play Final Fantasy 15 again. You got 15 on here, haven't you? So, I think
I've got it on both. I've got it on all platforms. I'll just play it
You
wherever
have,
I
actually.
like. Even the GB one.
It turns out the disc is actually still in the PlayStation, I think.
Alright, cool.
She don't care. She don't care about me, she just cares about the stream.
I care about the stream. That's why I married you.
That's it.
So I can keep up with the stream. Because I care about them more than you.
It's true.
Oh, shut up, you pussy.
I am the bitch of this relationship.
Don't you fucking forget it. Don't net. What was that? I read vaginas wrong as veginas.
Don't ever mess with fucking nerds in vaginas. What the fuck? Never mess with nerds with vaginas.
What are you saying? I've got a dick.
Surprise. That's why you sit on that bench, tramp Cloud.
Vaginas. What the fuck's a vagina?
Well, you know, it's like it's a manly vegan.
There's no such thing!
There you go.
It's like what Joe Rogan says, just I'm a vegan. to try and get into bed.
Oh
with
yeah,
women.
that's it, yeah.
I'm a vegan. Oh, are you now?
Also, I'm vegan.
Yeah, also I'm vegan. Hi, I'm Brad, and I'm vegan.
Leave this to me.
I don't think so.
I think you can totally.
You can totally go.
Either way,
You can do whatever you want.
I'm a feminist and I'm vegan. I'm so in touch with my emotions.
Like no balls right there.
I can't. I'm sorry. Well, man, the fuck up. Come on, you gotta be a you got a dick. You have every right to be a dick.
No, not these days. You gotta be all like.
In touch with your femininities.
How's about?
Fuck off.
Yeah, in my case, no.
I think it's sad that the day that comes when women act like men.
That's what dykes are, isn't it? Oh my god! I put on my favourite plaid shirt and shaved my head. She'd better
They treat me like a princess. Fucking hell. I got told once that I was too butch. Yeah, I was too butch for this lesbian. And yet she had like really short hair.
She had dick shaved into the back of her head.
Basically, yeah. And I was told that I was too fucking butch for her. What the fuck?
And what she said was you've actually got fucking guts and control.
Oh, fuck you, bitch.
I got your number.
Make like a vegan and shove a carrot up your ass. Would be much different.
Was never in doubt.
Oh, no thank you. I'd much rather have a stick of celery.
Or just so you can have it run down the
Yeah, oh yeah.
run down the back run
So
down
you can feed people at the same
it
time.
runs down the back end. Where the fuck are you going?
I fucking know. I'm in the sewers going towards Sector 7 apparently. Because not like it isn't going to blow up.
You have to go through the train graveyard, don't you?
Yeah.
To get to just before the plate. Apparently that bit's a real fucking slog.
By the way, I'm on chapter 10.
You only got 2 chapters left.
I know. Pissed off because I have done it.
They've been playing for about 30 hours.
25.
Yeah, but like I said, people have told me that train graveyard isn't like a half an hour section in this. It's quite a slog.
Babe, I'm still fucking ploughing through it.
You're probably ploughing it, are you though?
I'm ploughing it like a fucking meadow, I am.
Oh yeah.
Leave this to me.
I don't think
Glad that's over.
I love how in some cases you get more experience from killing rats than you do killing humans.
The Shinjingumi.
Yeah, plowing through, Butch.
Let's end this quick.
I think, you know, when a lesbian calls another woman butch, it's the same way when a guy says something to a woman that's not interested when he screams at them that they're a lesbian. Well, shut the fuck up, you dyke. It's that kind of thing.
I'm not bullshitting. I think that is
That's
in
a
itself
win.
a bit offensive.
Well, it's supposed to be, isn't it?
Like, fuck you. You know, it doesn't matter what you
They're just jealous. They're being out lesbian. Hey, what can I say? Dulane, I'm the biggest lesbian in the room.
Yeah. Facts and material.
That it is. Discovery on the other side, apparently.
No, it's
Just people being shitheads.
just people being shitheads, but it's also kind of offensive
It's
when
supposed to be.
I wasn't even hitting on her.
No, but that's what they're saying. That,
Oh, well, because I wasn't interested enough.
yeah,
Oh, you
that's
bit
what I'm
bitch.
saying. Like when a guy calls a lassie who isn't interested, they say, "Oh, you fucking lesbian," or "Oh, must be a dyke."
that must be the way out.
It's like, no, it's just they're not interested in you.
I wonder. There must be some way we can lower the water level.
Yeah, that kind of shit.
Or skank, yeah. Or she's just a whore.
Yeah, oh, don't, no, because...
That's another one. You're just a whore, you're a cock tease.
Guys, check it out.
Okay,
Seven's
I'm not
Heaven's water
actually
tank
trying
has
to be,
something
but...
similar.
Yes, I
Maybe
am.
we can use this
Yes,
to control the
I
sewage
am.
level.
Hey, Cloud.
That's the other one that I...
You wanna give it a try?
This
you're
ought
just
to
a
drain
cock
water.
tease. Actually, I'm not a cock tease. If you choose to be nice to me, that's fine, but it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to reciprocate your niceness with giving you a blowjob or some kind of sexual act.
Didn't you?
No.
I'm gone then.
Oh, I love that line. Well, fuck you, that bitch. That's the line. Well, fuck you, bitch. Like that, Rain.
That sounds rad, Dulane.
Have they pressed the buttons yet? No, I've got to press the buttons. Tifa, you're letting the side down, boo.
Flick the switch now.
No luck?
Must be busted.
A red light indicates a blockage, apparently.
Does it?
We can use the hand pump to clear the blockage. Sounds about right. I remember having to do this at the bar before.
All right.
Her bar is just like a sewer
Barrett,
system.
do you mind giving me a hand? Cloud, you stay put. Keep an eye out for more red lights.
Wait, I'm not sure.
Trust me, this is the best way to handle it. We'll be back soon.
That's kind of the same groove we have with our boys. When they're wankers, we pull them up on it. Last I checked, we're raising you, boy, not dragging your ass up. Theo had the nerve to say to me I'd hurt his feelings earlier.
How?
You know when they were having a go at each other?
Yeah.
Because William was taking
So
the
maybe
mickey,
this is a little
and
different
Theo
from
was
the
just
one at
acting
the
like a little
bar.
bitch in return.
More
Yeah.
And
industrial?
I basically came through and I said, look, I told you guys to be nice to each other, right? We're stuck in this house together for the next couple of weeks. So,
If not longer.
yeah, so shut
Shut
the
the fuck up.
I go, let's be fair. You guys want to sit down and watch TV. He's annoying you. You're popping off at him. Fucking, and vice versa. Let it go. I go, you two are sat in here right now watching the TV when I don't want you to. I don't want you in here, but I'm letting you anyway for the sake of the peace. So, let's be fair. Shut the fuck up. If you don't want to hear William whining, fuck off upstairs. And William, if you don't shut up, I'm going to turn the TV over because you're clearly not watching it because all you've been doing for the last 20 minutes is winding up your brother. And Noodle has the nerve to go, but fucking what you said upset me, it hurt my feelings. It's like,
Have her open the valve.
oh well.
Tilt left up. Valve needs to start swinging to left. Have Tifa weapon. Yield and repeatedly hit the X to target red. Close the valve.
So I guess you have to get it in that. Get it
Red
in there.
area.
Yeah.
It's tiny. That's what she said.
It's tiny. Well, I'm sorry. You chose to marry me.
Here goes.
Too soon.
Try
Oh
to
no, the
stay
bar's got narrower.
Oh, right, okay.
So I'll flash and then I'll just ping and then you press the button.
Alright. Oh, so close.
Too early. now.
Spectacular!
No, it opened.
Oh really?
All
Yeah,
good.
it's turned green.
Yeah, that's been my children today. It's like you fucking insufferable little bastard.
Could have gone better.
Yeah, tab fast because it makes the bar go bigger by the looks of it.
That went well.
Try to find the G spot. That.
Whoops.
Wow, that was quick.
Try to stay in sync.
Shut up, TV, you can.
Keep calm.
I know!
Here goes.
There we go.
All right, I think that did it.
Wonderful.
Okay, let's head back. Cloud's probably getting worried.
No, he's most probably having a wank in the club.
Yeah, he's had 15 minutes alone.
He's like, oh, fuck's sake, fucking
it's-
women, man.
He's still reeling from the shame of having to wear that dress.
Or he's looking at the pictures that everyone sent him
No, that's
on Facebook.
He's thinking to himself, you know what? Fuck, I was hot in that dress.
Nicely done.
We make a great team.
Go team.
I've got this.
Don't you mean get up?
Allow me.
Go on.
Oh,
I
no.
won't give up. Calling ice. Let's finish this.
It looks like the frame rate's going down again.
Here he comes. One more shot.
I've got you covered.
Bundle up.
Go on. There. That wasn't so bad.
Why is it going to this
Bring
intense
it.
music?
Because we're down a bog.
It's not a spot. What's it called? A citrine. Whatever the fuck it's called.
Let's do this. Yeah. Gotta be careful.
Wait, so what's going on, Dulane?
Lend me your strength. Get him!
Let's do this.
Okay, up and at him. Go on!
See ya. Took you long enough.
Sure is nice to go up for a change.
Hope the pillar's not much further.
This one's for you! Stay back!
Gotta sting!
Go on!
You're done. No more playing nice.
One more shot!
That's that.
I still don't get why I put tense music on.
Hang back. I'll go on ahead and secure the exit.
Looks like they're hungry for more.
We're not delicious. Not even a little bit.
Get going.
Now!
Okay.
You too.
But there's too many of them!
Not for me.
Hurry!
Last warning. Back off or die.
Come on!
Well, he wasn't exactly beating them up. Chocobo removal. I need to get the fat chocobo off the old young lad. It's the Turks.
Understood. The Avalanche mission's been approved. We ought to proceed as planned.
This is bullshit. What the hell are they thinking?
Threats to public order are to be
Rain, you
summarily
need to get
put
planner.
down. This is what we've always done.
Oh, is he getting pissed off again because I'm playing this?
If I didn't like you guys, I'd so be leaving school and the fuck out of this game.
Sorry, Rain.
Guess it's a little late to grow a conscience.
Honestly, it doesn't spoil it if you play it as well. It's just as good. Honestly, watching Beard play it as well, I can
Just
sit
on
and
patrol.
watch it. It's like watching a film.
Don't worry. We'll make it in time.
Tifa's feeling awkward around fucking Aerith, isn't she? It would be good if we rest. Maybe.
We could get lost in here.
This is the train graveyard, all right. A real treasure trove of scrap. Sector 7 should be just past that large maintenance facility over there. I vote we stay in the light so we can see where we're going.
Dark, dark everywhere.
That it?
It's deserted and kind of creepy.
People don't come around here often. Not just because of the monsters, but because of the stories.
What kind?
Yeah, I was gonna say at this
Everyone
point.
seems to think that
At
the
this
train
point,
graveyard
Rain, this is
is
still this
haunted.
one of
Those
original
who
Final
lose their way
Fantasy
out there
VII.
in the dark of night will never, ever find their way back
The
home
first
again.
episode of Final Fantasy VII Remake isn't going to touch anything outside of
Is that
Midgard.
right?
I mean, it's not like
At the rate we're going, I don't
But, you know,
think it's even going to get to the
Then let's hurry.
to the Shinra building where you meet Red.
We still have Aerith at that point as well. Let's just say you're not going to be seeing Aerith die any fucking time soon.
I mean, I'm actually
Leave this to me.
surprised that this doesn't actually include the Shinra building.
It comes for you!
We were all led to believe that
See
this
you
was going to
around.
be the entirety of the first part of Final Fantasy VII. But by the looks of it, it's only going to be up to that Turk's boss fight. But the fact that this episode alone takes
What was that?
near enough the same amount as the entire time it would take to finish Final Fantasy VII. I don't think there is a timeline at this point because no one really knows when the next part is going to come out, but honestly, looking at it, it's just tweet Final Fantasy 15.
Well, like I said, it wouldn't surprise me because the body map of Tifa is the same as Sid's granddaughter in Final Fantasy 15. Just different head, different clothes.
That's that.
Like how they do in Disney, how they reuse all the characters.
When they kind of used actors, Robin Hood.
Yeah.
Like Robin Hood was literally
I
just
think I just
recycled
heard
from
it
other Disney
too.
films.
Did you guys hear it too?
Why would there be kids out here this late?
What? Then...
But I think as well, that's why they've been kind of littering later game content throughout this to keep people interested, to remind them, by the way, you know, this is what's going to come. Don't forget about Sephiroth, don't forget about Red, don't forget about, you know, this and that. Because I mean, like in base Final Fantasy VII, Sephiroth isn't even mentioned, is he, until the raid on the Shinra building to get Aerith back. I don't think he's even mentioned once. Yet, in this... yeah, you're kind of right, Rain. They've stretched a lot of stuff out to make certain areas feel a bit more alive. Yeah, it's very fan service at this point. But I mean, some of the stuff you have to do in the remake literally feels like busybody work. Especially when you know what's gonna come next. You're like, well, why would I even do this stuff if this area is not going to be accessible for the near future?
Let's finish this.
So I mean, this is a re-envisioning. Like, what would Final Fantasy VII be had it been made now, if Square had access to this kind of hardware in this much space? Because you got to think, Final Fantasy VII being a 3-disc epic back in the day, I mean, there were no other games like it. You know, the idea that they would have to put a game on 3 full CD-ROMs was insane. No, it's 3.
Is it 3?
8 is 4. 7's 3. But yeah, like Train Graveyard as an example is literally a couple-minute section. I guarantee you it's going to take fucking ages in this remake.
Hey! Go on!
Gotta be careful. Dumbass.
I'm coming.
I'd like to see them. It's nice to see what they've done with it, though. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like the remake, and at the same time, I dislike it just because of how much padding they've put into this game. The fact that segments that would literally take, you know, 20 minutes in the original are now several hours. And it's just like, why does it take so long to do something
So it's my
so
turn?
simple?
Gonna hurt. Get ready.
I mean, Final Fantasy VII, if I mean, the section of the game that we're playing now, up the Train Graveyard, is only a few hours worth of the original Final Fantasy VII. This is like nearly 30 hours worth of gameplay on the remake. If the original game is 50 hours long,
Game over, huh?
Christ, this is going to take forever. The Final Fantasy VII remake, they could make it last for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours.
Do you know what? Piss me off. I'm on chapter 11 now.
Alright. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, Delane. I'm not saying that what they've done is bad. Just, I think this would be much nicer for me had I have not played the original version. Because, as I say, the original version has now already told me what's going to happen to a lot of the characters that I now see.
I've just looked at it in a different perspective. Like, I'm accepting that there is going to be fluff, and I'm seeing it more like a retelling of the game.
It is a retelling, but like I say, because I already know what's going to happen.
I've forgotten. I know roughly what's going to happen, but I've forgotten all the details.
See, Final Fantasy, the Midgar section of Final Fantasy VII, I remember that near
I don't.
point to point. You know how you remember the first section of Final Fantasy 9?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
It's the same for Final Fantasy 7 for me. I remember the first section of Final Fantasy 7.
You got also remember that I only really completed it when I was pregnant with William.
Yeah, because we had that race through Final Fantasy 7.
Yeah. Because you reckon it only needs to take this amount of time. I was like, no. And then because I like to grind.
Well, I mean, here's the trick, Dulaine. Here's the trick. For me, the best Final Fantasy 7 game isn't the original Final Fantasy 7.
We could get lost in here.
Actually, you like Deja Cerberus. I'm a huge fan of Crisis Core Final Fantasy 7, which actually plays quite a lot like this. But you play as the character Zack Fair, who in original Final Fantasy 7 plays an incredibly small part. Like, he's featured in maybe 3 scenes in the entire game, yet
if it wasn't for him,
yeah,
fucking Cloud wouldn't exist.
Zack's impact on the Final Fantasy 7 world is fucking huge.
It's like a stone ripple in the water, isn't it?
Yeah. And so they actually managed to make an entire game, a fantastic game, that tells the story of the Wu-Tai War, which was just a side plot in the original Final Fantasy 7, and the Nibelheim incident, Zack's rise through Soldier, how he meets Cloud, his relationship to Cloud, and then how Cloud his relationship to Aerith, and then how Cloud gets to Midgar, which is then the start of Final Fantasy 7.
I mean,
it's fucking fantastic. There probably are cutscenes too lame, but if I had to recommend playing something like getting the lore of Final Fantasy VII, there is nothing better at this point than starting with Crisis Core, or start Final Fantasy VII because you can get it on everything, then play Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII afterwards, and then go to the remake. It's fucking brilliant. And you're right, Rain. Crisis Core had some fantastic fight scenes with Sephiroth, with him and Jill and Genesis on the Junon cannon. I mean, and again, Rain, you are right. Like, the way that they have expanded, like, one of the cool parts of the fluff that they added in was finding out that Jesse's family all live on the Sector 7 plate. That Shinra employees all live on the plate, and that she is actually a kind of technically a rich kid. Yeah. I thought that was nice. The expansion of Wedge and like the character of Wedge and Biggs, that was nice because I liked the guys from Avalanche.
Crisis Core Final Fantasy had the best Sephiroth fight. Yeah, it did. Especially when he cut that fucking big turret in half.
No, he cuts the entire Junon cannon into fucking small pieces with ease.
Like it was fucking knife through butter, right?
Mm-hmm. And then you get the story of the Buster sword and all that kind of stuff as well.
Because the sword that Cloud carries isn't actually.
Let's end this
weapon.
quick.
No, it's not his, but it's not technically. It's not even Zack.
Isn't it the other guy?
It's Angeal.
Yeah, the big guy.
Let's go.
Yeah, Zack's teacher.
Yeah, I liked him.
It was a gift from Angeal's parents, but Angeal's parents were poor. They saved up a lot of money to have that sword made for him. Gave it to Angeal. Angeal then never used it out of respect of his, because he didn't want to wear it out. And then then he passes it on to Zack, who then we won't, and then Cloud gets it.
Cloud still having PTSD.
Yep.
And lying about his rank.
Yep. Absolutely fantastic series.
Guys, what was that?
What I would love to see, Rain, is if they remake Crisis Core in this. So they use the Final Fantasy VII remake and make an entire DLC section of Zack. See, some of the fluff is nice, but when it takes you 4 hours to literally do what would be a half-hour segment in another game, or in the other games, I don't know, it just seems like busybody work.
Should he go dilly-dally work?
Yeah, that. It literally does just feel like they've padded it for the sake of padding it. Because obviously they've got to make a hell of a game out of it, haven't they? They've got to make it longer to justify the price.
Go on!
Yeah, that's it. It's over. That's it, Rain. Like, you know, I've been trying not to say too much about it, but you know, the fact that Cloud isn't what he says
Why would
he
there be
is.
kids out
He
here
never
this late?
was. He never came close. I can't wait to see those scenes in this game. I just know that there's going to be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of... I mean, think about it. Imagine Gold Saucer, which took fucking hours in the original Final Fantasy, or the Temple of the Ancients, two absolutely horrible sections of the original Final Fantasy VII.
What about though the way it looks fucking makes it less of a ball ache?
Well, maybe, but what I'm saying is, if
I like the cats.
Gold Saucer takes fucking eons in the original game,
Yeah, I like it.
so if it takes eons in the actual game, and they can stretch a 30-minute segment out to be 4 hours, it's gonna take fucking forever. Like train graveyards, what? 10 minutes? I'm actually one of the few people that really liked
Let's go.
Advent
Let us
Children.
through, or
The
else.
only Final Fantasy VII spin I haven't played is Dirge of Cerberus, one that is really. You play as Vincent, don't you?
Yeah.
I never actually owned Dirge of
Cats.
Cerberus.
We've still got it upstairs.
Chill.
I completely forgot that Reavers
That's that.
In it as well.
catch it.
Yep. And you've got Rude turn up in that as well.
I love Rude. Rude's one of my favourite characters from Final Fantasy VII. Oh, actually, no, that's not entirely true. I haven't played before Crisis either, but not many people have.
This is Japan only on the phone, isn't it?
Yeah, the one where you play as the Turks. And that covers the attack on Coral.
Right.
So if you remember Barrett's hometown, Coral, where they set up the reactor and they said there was a terrorist attack by Avalanche there, but it
Yeah.
wasn't Barrett, it was the original Avalanche.
Alright.
That's all covered there, and I remember when it first came out, Rain. I remember watching it on. We got a hooky copy from Japan, long time ago. Although I will admit, I'm a bit torn on whether I prefer the Japanese audio or the American audio. Because when I first watched it, it was fan subbed in Japanese. But these days, the only one we have it on DVD upstairs, don't we? I've actually got 2 copies of it. Because there's a couple editions, aren't there? There's the version that came with just the film, and then there's another one with like a couple of animated episodes of Zack. It's like a mini animated story of Zack and Cloud getting to Midgar, which was absolutely fantastic as well. I do like the dub of it, but I'm gonna fucking say I absolutely hate the line.
Dilly dally, shilly shally.
I fucking hate that line, and it makes me want to fucking find the script writers and punch them square in the fucking face. I hate that line every single fucking time I see it. Every time I see it, every time I hear it, every time I think about it, it fucking enrages me. But to me, that is literally the worst part of that film. That one line that makes no sense at all.
I'll take that.
I need to play it. I think the first thing I'm going to have to do when the new PC arrives is bust out an emulator and play Crisis Core.
Really?
Yep. I have the Crisis Core limited edition PSP upstairs.
What one?
Silver. It's like a grey gunmetal silver colour with the characters of Crisis Core on the back. And the reason I got that one, because it's a PSP 2000, was so that I could play Crisis Core on the TV, because it had component cables to plug it into a TV.
Yeah.
Fucking amazing experience, that game.
And what PSP was my one, wasn't it? But it was your one that you lent me.
Yeah, the fat white one.
Oh, come on, I just want to get through this.
Huh? What is that?
You okay?
All good, I think.
Still in one piece here, too. Guys?
Seriously?
Come on, huh? Well, that's inviting.
All I have to do is remind myself this is a reimagining of the story, and then the padding's not so bad. It's just like, hey, let's walk around the slums and find some cats. Let's, you know...
Alright, let's see what's inside.
Go into a couple of areas and do this and that, except for realistically, all you did the first time through in the original was just pass through. You didn't do any of this stuff. You didn't spend a couple of nights in the slums. You didn't go back up to the plate.
Oh, well, you did, but
what
it was
do you
just
think?
a quicker telling of the story.
No, you didn't go back up to the plate.
Yeah, but... you
I'm
could've.
game.
Well, yeah, you could have done, but you didn't. Because it would have been too risky for them to
We've
keep
got
going
a
through the security
bodyguard,
check.
don't forget. Mine. Right?
Ghosts aren't my thing.
You're just being modest. After you.
Mind letting me go then?
Now just wait until you get the Final Fantasy VII remake in 2040.
When they actually do the whole fucking game.
Well, we probably won't actually get the full thing until 2040. When we get the full game, I don't care how much they pad it out. You know, when they finish it, I reckon it's going to be fan-fucking-tastic. Because I will be honest, even though I complain about the padding and the busybody work, I've actually thoroughly enjoyed it. It does just make me wonder though why they had to drag it out as much as they did, when they could have, you know, tacked more of the story on.
That? Look! Over there!
'Cause it's that kind of sickening. It's a sickening feeling that, like, you know what's coming next. I want it now. Kind of thing. You know, I know that we're going to do a raid on the Shinra building.
Found you.
I know that Red 13 comes next. I know
Hey, can we
Genova's
talk?
going to turn up
Just
soon.
for a bit?
All that kind of stuff. Like, I know it's coming. Like, why isn't it here now?
Get back.
Oh, it's not quite the same thing, Elaine. It's literally just a case of I look at this and I've been told, I don't know if it's true, I've been told there's about 34 hours of content in this remake part 1. And I've been told there are 12 chapters.
Allow me.
But when we were all originally told about remake, we were told that it fully encompasses the first section of the game, Midgar. However, it turns out all it really covers is the first 2 reactor bombings and the plate
Go on!
So there's a massive section still not in it. I was like, I could have to wait another couple of years to get
come back.
to just get that next piece. It's like you're now so hyped that you've got the taste, but you know that you're gonna have to wait for the next bit, so it's almost killing the enjoyment. It's not so much that they've missed it out, they just haven't put it in this part. It'll likely be in the next bit, but it's like the next bit could be in 2 years. Or it could, you know, it could be in 6 months, a year, you know, and it's like, but for fuck's sake, I know it's coming, because I've played the original game.
Stay back!
They've made an incredibly short section of the game into an incredibly long episode. But to people who have played the game before, you know that it gets really fucking awesome within the... Literally, when this I know exactly where it's going to end. Or I have a theory of where it's going to end. It's going to be a plate drop. It's going to end on the ultimate cliffhanger. No, but for them, this is going to be fantastic. But for someone like me who's played Final Fantasy VII, who knows the lore of Final Fantasy VII, I know shit gets real after the plate drops.
And you're like, I want to play it!
Yeah, that's it. It's like, I want to get to that bit because I want to see Red 13. I want to meet Hojo. You know, I want to have to bust into the Shinra building and stuff like that, but I know it's coming, but not for quite some time as yet. They've literally cut it off.
Here it comes! It's you.
Oh, they're gonna stretch it out, Rain. They are hardcore gonna stretch this game out. It might not take like 6 months.
That thing's dangerous.
Christ, it's taken 30 hours to pull off a couple of hours of the original game this is going to be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours worth of game if they actually finish it. Because that's my other fear, that Square just go. It does feel awesome to be able to look forward to it, but we have been looking forward to Final Fantasy VII Remake since, what, 2015? So we've been waiting a long ass time for this.
You okay?
Yeah.
And to know
Cloud.
that
You
literally
saved
in
us.
all of that time, because there were reports at one point that Square had scrapped the remake. They'd scrapped it and that they had to start it again. We now think to
Gonna need to
ourselves,
find
did it
another way
really
through.
take you 5 years just to literally do this bit? Because I mean, they couldn't even. Because look at what they did with. I do feel a bit let down, yeah, because they didn't finish Final Fantasy 15 either, which is what concerns me about the remake.
Sorry,
They're now making an
we're in a rush.
episodic Final Fantasy, but they didn't finish 15.
And that was bang.
Yeah, so at what point are they going to say, well, we'll put shit tons of work into the first episode, episode 2 will start cutting corners, episode 3 will put in a little bit more work, and then you're like, what are you doing? Because honestly, the only reason this takes 30 odd hours to get is because of how much they've padded it out. It's not that there's loads and loads of extra stories. They have just literally padded it out with shit tons of side quests that didn't exist in the original game. The original game was much more direct. This does, I mean, it does make things seem a bit more alive, but as I say, because I already know what's going to happen to half the characters, it does feel like busybody work.
Get him! There! Just hang on. I'm coming.
I'm just really nervous that they're going to get partway through it and they're going to start half-assed. If they do though, I know for a fact the fan backlash is going to be, it's going to be fucking brutal.
Gotcha! Bring it!
But yeah, 5 years to make this section. It is quite clearly based on Final Fantasy 15 playstyle. Yeah, five years to make this. I don't know.
Oh, they're going nickel dime us.
Oh, they will nickel and dime us. This was a very expensive 30-odd hour game.
How much?
How much was it? More than most?
More than 40?
Yeah,
50?
more.
60 quid? You're fucking joking?
Nope.
Wow.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They've, like Rain said, they have literally got us by the balls. This was not cheap. By any stretch of the imagination.
That's not
That's why
true.
I'm kind of worried. They're like,
Guess the crane's up there.
like I said, for the longest time, people thought they'd cancelled it.
Really?
But yeah, they show a trail. They show an announcement trailer for it, which was Cloud jumping off the train back in roughly 5 years ago thereabouts. Then it went dead. Then they show a little bit more of an update, like, hey, here's the same scene as before, but we've cleaned it up. It looks prettier. And then it went fucking dead. And then there were rumours that it got scrapped. And then kind of it came back, and then people were like, wait, has it been outsourced to someone else? Because obviously at this point Square Enix were shitting up Final Fantasy 15. How much was it? About 75.
It's not worth it. There's no power coming through.
I wonder if this is another prank. Someone might be messing with the power
Yeah, you
supply to
heard
make us
that.
run
There's no way
around.
you can't hear that pain.
Done?
Oh yeah, no, not for the base. That was for everything all in. You could have got it for about 50 or 60, I think, for the base.
Oh, you got the collector's edition.
But all in, and you got to think, and this is only part one. This is only part one. When the next part comes out, we've got to pay again.
You're fucking joking.
Yeah, of course not.
Fucking ridiculous.
Literally, Dulaine, grab Final Fantasy 7 on PC, and then grab a PSP emulator and download Crisis Core. You'll have fucking hours and hours and hours of fucking fun.
I found you.
Oh, Aerith, you cunt.
Lend me your strength. Get him.
Righto, Dulaine, 1 second.
Go on.
No escape.
Get him.
Call fire.
Don't touch hold.
Good luck, Rain.
No escape. Gotta be careful.
That's it.
After you.
All set.
I'm waiting.
Cut.
Calling fire.
Gotcha. One more shot. Fine. Keep it up. strong, okay? Get him! Bring it!
Okay, let's put it this way. For anyone curious, Final Fantasy VII Remake takes approximately 35 hours to beat. If you want to beat base Final Fantasy VII, original Final Fantasy VII, right? And that's just the main game, that's not a few little hidden extras and stuff like that. You're talking an average of about 38 hours. So 38 hours for the full story. They have literally expanded a few hours, the first few hours of Final Fantasy VII into a full 35-hour game.
Wow.
And so when I say padding, I mean that in the nicest way possible.
Do you think there's more in here?
Looks like. Aha! Found you!
As I say, Dark, it's a bit of a toss-up for me. If we had the full game now, I don't know if I'd be too bothered with all of the power. Some of it's been a bit excessive, like half-an-hour segments of the original game turning into 4 hours. But other stuff, just like some of it is really, really cool. Like I said, I like going up to the plate, see Jessie's family, finding out that her father was an engineer at the power plant. You know, that was neat padding. But some of the other stuff is just like, oh my god, there's 4 hours of content here to literally do what was a couple minutes in the original game. But if I had, when we bought this, if we had the full Final Fantasy VII Remake here right now, I'd probably be less critical of it because I could just play it through rather than play it through, get to a cliffhanger, wait, then the hype kind of dies down, and then I'm like, am I still going to be as hyped when the next bit comes? I mean, this is a beautiful game, it looks fantastic, it plays really well, the soundtrack is nice, the sound design is really good. I mean, the Final Fantasy VII Remake gameplay looks better than the Final Fantasy VII film they made years ago. The graphics used in this make the Final Fantasy VII film look like a PS2 game.
That's it! You'll see.
But like this entire piece here, train graveyard, is literally a 10-minute segment.
Get ready.
I mean, Iggy's been playing this now for what?
There you go, 26 hours 50.
Yeah, I mean, let's put it this way. If Iggy was playing the original Final Fantasy VII, he should have nearly finished it by now. Who's having a cup of tea? But yeah, like Dark said, he guesstimates about 35 hours for the full Final Fantasy VII. I'd say around 35 to 38, maybe a bit more if you were going to do all of the extras. You know, like Cloud's little bit of backstory, Cloud and Zack's little bit of backstory, some of the stuff that goes on in Gold Saucer, and all that. I mean, you're talking at most maybe 40 hours for the original Final Fantasy VII,
If that.
around that. So, you know, I mean, I'm just trying to think now, how long does it actually take to get to Train Graveyard in Final Fantasy VII?
6 hours, I think.
No, I don't know. 6 might be, maybe.
Earth, don't find a ghost. I'm sick of them.
Dark guesstimates about an hour at least. So you're saying 31, is that 31 average for base Final Fantasy VII? Because do you see what I mean here? Look, there's an entire story. Yeah, well, yeah, that's it. So, remake is...
I'm pretty sure I saw a
Remake
door on the other
takes-
side of this place. I think our only
Yeah,
choice
Train
would be to find
Graveyard is
someone.
probably only a couple of hours into the game. As Dark said, you've got boss fight 1 in Macro Reactor 1, then I can't remember what it's called now, like Airbuster or whatever, the second main boss, then you meet Aerith, do the church scene, from there do Wall Market, where you do the Cloud cross-dressing scene, and then through the sewers, through Train Graveyard, and up to the plate, and it takes like no time at all.
Man, come on.
But yeah, those are the key points from me and Dark Relay. Like literally 3 or 4 pieces. Train Graveyard and the sewers that Inky's that she's doing right now, literally probably about half an hour in the original game. Again, not a bad thing. Not a bad thing, but they really have
Butched it up.
yeah, well they've made it a more alive area. They've made it more real, kind of thing. Rather than coming out right next door to Sector 7 from the sewers, you've ended up like fucking, you know, a couple miles away. You're on the opposite side of a building site. No, because literally in Train Graveyard in the original game, I think you hopped across maybe 2 or 3 trains, well 4 trains, and that was it. Like it was literally the length of a couple of passenger trains in IRL terms, and that was it. Whereas right now, Inky's having to go through warehouses and stuff like that as well.
Just gonna get that.
I would totally recommend you, Lane, taking a crack at the base game, the original game. You can probably buy it on Steam for a couple bucks. Have a go at it, and you'll kind of see what me and Dark are getting at. You'll know Train Graveyard. Well, let's put it this way: just figure out how long it takes. Just time it. How long it takes for you to get to the cross-dressing section. You'll know it when you see it. You can't miss it.
He did look lovely.
Yeah, he looks fantastic. It's not that far into the game. Yeah, sure.
Oh.
Yeah, well, yeah, Dark's right as well, and that's with reading all of the text.
Because I found it funny that Final Fantasy 15 has the benches that you can sit down on outside the fucking cafes.
Yeah, well, the whole benches to save and restore health, that was from the Arden episode in Final Fantasy 15. Dulaine, the stretching out of the story wouldn't be so bad if it was all here. So if from now to the point that you would turn off your PlayStation and go away, if it was all here on the PlayStation, downloaded and ready to go, and we knew Square Enix has finished it, not a problem. They could pad it out as long as they want. They could turn it into a several hundred-hour epic if they wanted to, because this looks beautiful. But they haven't yet. And they promised so much with Final Fantasy 15. And don't get me wrong, Final Fantasy 15 is fucking fantastic. But they never finished it.
Tia!
That is a risk, Dulaine. You know, that it could get incredibly repetitive. I mean, as Dark has said before on some streams, they've given Cloud a load of his little game weapons right at the start of this game.
Coming to get you?
Just think about it. Cosmo took a long ass time in the original game. How long did it take this?
It's a monster.
I don't have time for your shit.
Hey!
I got your number.
Shit properly. I'm just worried they do a Final Fantasy 15 on this.
Not looking good.
Stay strong.
That book is actually come out.
Calling fire. Take it from here.
I got this. You're up. I'll show you what I can do. Somebody help me out here. That's much better. Thank you. Here. This one's for you. Go on. This is gonna hurt.
Thought I had you covered.
Shake it off.
Calling fire. Let's switch it up.
All set. Heads up. Cut. Sure. However I can help. No need to panic. Get him! Here it comes! Okay, up and at him. Yoo-hoo! Ha! Bingo! Ha! Stay strong, okay?
I'm waiting.
How's this?
Why can't I? That was weird.
What the?
Got it, they tried. I really
No way. Still up there?
So I have not written that.
Damn it. I'm wide awake now. I got this.
So back in the day when you were
I'll
fighting
do
the
what I
undead,
can.
you just throw a potion at them.
Yeah.
Can't do that in there. Can't do that in there.
Stay strong and carry on.
Probably carry.
Kinda hurt.
Well, this fight, Dulane, isn't even in the original game. This is a completely extra fight.
Mind backing off a bit? Get him! You'll see. Yeah! That's it! I'll take that!
This might be it.
There's actually a fair few extra boss fights in this, aren't there?
That's much better.
Oh, no way.
Any last words? Come on. Whatever. Steady. Get ready. Be careful.
Right.
No need to.
No escape.
I mean, in fairness to you, that's largely what the original Final Fantasy 7 was. It was time-based combat. So the fact that you've actually got dodge and block and run around in this one's kind of a breath of fresh air.
Bring it.
But the combat system is a hell of a change. Oh yeah, because I'm set off axis from the microphone again. The funny thing is, mate, it's even more hardcore in the menus when you really get into combat.
So it's my turn?
Great.
I'll show you what I can do.
This might be it.
You asked for it.
That's fantastic voice work.
Get him! Whoa! Lend me your strength. You can do it.
Taking over.
Gotta be smart.
Bonuses there if Thor's got healing with the game. Cloud's got the cross that. So I'm also just going to have a stamina that way. I'll bring it with the hack. Cloud's got a bar. And Eric's got a bar.
Pay attention.
This is gonna hurt.
Let's finish this. Time to get moving. All right.
Got any use flash, use them. Oh, the stagger's gone there.
You're out of luck.
Fuck's immune. That did massive damage before.
No escape.
Oh shit. Sorry.
No way. Gotta be careful.
Alright, Cloud's got life.
Second win.
Hang on, I think.
I won't let you down. Bless them with your love and grace.
Yeah. Still up for it?
Go on!
That really just interrupted your AM.
All this time, you were waiting for someone to come and play with you.
What are you talking about? Come on, let's get back to the crane.
Okay. Thank you for that, I guess.
There's a bench, isn't there? Just outside?
Don't ever want to fucking fight a fucking monster again.
It's like when they put you up against the Hell House, that was funny. Well, kind of, like...
Kind of funny.
Enemies with massive health pools and huge defense.
And I'm like, I haven't got many items and I'm totally not up for this.
It's like when we were doing the first boss fight, and it's like, okay, we're going to dodge out of the way of this this attack. They've telegraphed the attack, we're going to dodge. Oh, hang on a minute, it still managed to hit us even though we were nowhere near the area of effect.
Like, thanks for that, guys.
Some of the fights in the remake really do feel like a bit of a troll.
Did you monster?
No. Except eggs again.
Do we have to go downstairs?
Yeah. Troll is a bit of an understatement. You got a Moogle medal. Oh yeah, Is it not? Yeah, lower level down there.
Coming through.
Out of our way!
Fuck off! Get it off me!
That's the thing, where you say the void probably feels empty because it's not something we had in the originals, Dulane. A lot of the boss fights in the Final Fantasy VII Remake weren't there in the originals. That one that Inky has just done wasn't there in the original game. As I say, the train graveyard, which is what this area is called, is literally like maybe 10 minutes to half an hour in the original game. With no boss fight in it. The Hell House you did wasn't in the original game. I mean, the enemy was, but it wasn't a boss. It was just a standard enemy.
And it was a hard enemy as well.
Yeah, it was a tough enemy, but it wasn't like a 5 or
like
10
the
minute long.
Marlboro as well.
Yeah.
Because I reckon if a Marlboro turns up, it's going to be a boss.
Yeah, probably. It looks like they've taken out the hard for that area bosses, or hard for that area enemies, and turned them into boss fights.
Which they weren't.
Yeah.
Those who lose their way out there in the dark of night will never, ever guys think would have happened if they caught us?
I wonder. Maybe they're the ones who were caught.
Can we just drop the whole...
What if they're trapped here and can't leave?
That's direct. Oh, okay. And I think that's also kind of Dark's main beef with it. I think, Elaine, that a lot of the stuff they're throwing in is literally just adding in time. It's making it feel like you're doing more than you really are. And to a degree, that's my beef with it as well. Like, you know, what Inky did to have to get the dress for Cloud was fantastic in this. It was funny, and the fights were really neat. But it turned it into a 4-hour section. Yeah, which was only, you know, talk
Just
to a
like
couple
we
of
hoped.
people
What a
and
relief.
play a couple of mini
We
games
should be able to get through
in
now.
the original.
Let's find out.
It was a very small piece to lead to a much bigger plot device, and in this one, it's kind of...
Fucking finally. 1 second. I'm supposed to be going this way. Let me out! I don't want to be in here no more.
People, I did say to you that people warned about Train Graveyard being a fucking pain in the ass.
Fuck's sake, this is the biggest load of bullshit I've ever seen.
Train Graveyard wasn't particularly
Coming
fun in
through.
the original
Out of our way!
7.
Go on!
That's what I mean. Like, this is one of the things that worries me. Like, are they gonna? When you stretch out one of the fun bits of the original game, that's fine. But now they're starting to stretch out Train Graveyard. You've got to remember, you are urgently trying to get to Sector 7 to stop the Turks from killing your friends, and they are literally in a helicopter flying from atop the disc to the bottom. How long is it realistically going to take? Evening, Scene Cat. How's lockdown treating you?
That's it.
I've heard the East 9 soundtrack. Scene Cat's pretty good. I haven't heard it in FLAC yet, I must admit, but it's fan-fucking-tastic. Standard Falcom fare. Yeah, so far we're all still alive and reasonably healthy. We're sick, but not from COVID-19. So, I guess that's a bonus, right? It would probably be a lot easier to deal with, though, if we weren't all locked in the house wallowing in self-pity.
Actually, I'm not.
No? Cool. Yeah, we're sick of this area.
Okay, go back. Go back. Resident Evil styling.
Through the train. We did actually get, I think, Cat. I don't know if it was Flack. We ended up getting a 100 gig Falcom collection. As soon as I get a PC up and running, I'll have to wing it your way.
Why can't I solve this?
Because, Inky, this is Train Graveyard. It was a ball ache in the original game. You know, things that you didn't think you could interact with in the original, you could. And I mean, there are still things on Google and that now saying, how do you finish Train Graveyard from the original game?
Really?
Yeah, people still find it a fucking ball ache. They go through there and then left. Train Graveyard is probably the worst place they could have made longer. There you go, out there and up.
We're through.
Great. Let's head outside. Wait.
A girl?
Marlene.
And the kids that the Black Wing carries away have to live in the train graveyard forever and ever. So you have to stay far, far away from there.
All right then, I will.
Oh, you know Betty? Yesterday, she went with her daddy to... When is Daddy coming back?
Actually, he might not make it home tonight. Marlene, what are you? We can't waste any more time here.
Oh, you've only just come to this conclusion, Tifa.
What was that about?
Nothing you need to worry about. Let's get going.
Oh.
It's moving.
Maybe now we can get to the other side.
Going in.
Sorry, but we're in a rush.
That's that. It's over.
See ya! Go on!
Coming through.
Out of our way!
I have this feeling that it would fight enemies and then make the first rotation of the sensation.
No escape.
See ya! Back off! Apply!
Cat. What's that? Is opening a massive Falcon music collection. That might have been it.
Take the lead.
I got this. I'll take care of them. That's it. Okay. You've got this.
Let's do this. Keep it together.
Let me handle this.
No escape. Whatever.
I'll take care of you. Hope you're ready. I won't.
That's that.
No more games. It's over. Go on. Bring it. This one's for you. Come on.
This path is blocked too, but we're so close I can see it.
Hey, do you think these trains might still run?
Could give it a try. Good call. Looks like it still works.
I knew it.
Everybody good?
Yeah.
Huh? I think that's...
Separating code is... Got it? Yeah, of course I do. Because that's the damn thing whenever. It's just that...
You got a death wish or something? Because I sure as shit don't.
What's happening? Do you have a problem?
Not really. Small arm fire between local boys trying to defend the building.
What would you feel about that? Send in a reinforcement. The more players that get the stage, the better.
So that's what we are.
Contact me when the mission is complete.
Tifa.
They're really gonna drop the plate.
They won't if Barrett and the others have anything to say about it.
All we can do now is keep moving.
Please. Please let us be in time.
Sorry to say it's Tifa, but we're not going to be. 'Cause, so far, all we've done is dilly-dally.
They're just trying to make that line fit.
Yeah. See, fucking jump. Fucker jump.
It's funny though, because like I say, Cloud can jump like fucking 20 foot in the air.
But you can't jump down there.
Why am I not surprised?
To be fair, I can't be asked anymore.
No?
So I'm going to save halfway through.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because, you know, I'm not being funny. I am on one away from fucking finishing.
In theory. Let's see, that's been 27 hours, yeah, so the next area could be it.
Well, yeah, because it says chapter 11.
Yeah, but I can't guarantee 12 is the end.
Well, no, because it has to finish, don't it? But I've had enough.
Sure.
The concentration's going.
Right.
Alright, thank you very much for the takeover of the Beardo stream of Inky the Obvious. I'm the Beardo streamer, so side.
You guys take it easy. Thanks for coming to hang out. And we'll see you with a good luck in the next one.